guys, I finally have the energy to do a quarterly reading wrap up that I've been putting off for a little while. It is going to be a very low energy, cozy kind of reading wrap up. I've got my oversized hoodie, I'm all decked out, getting ready for bed soon, but I was like, yeah, I might as well. So we're just going to get right into it. In April, I read 2 books, so didn't get very far that month. May, I read 3, also didn't get very far. But June, I overcompensated and read 12 books for the month. So I think it went alright. We'll start with my 3-star reads. My first 3-star read is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. It's really nice, to be honest. The reason I gave it 3 stars is because I guess the ending, about a quarter of the way into it, it just kind of reminded me of a Criminal Minds episode. To be honest, I used to read a lot, I guess I should say, of mystery thrillers, and I watch a lot of cop crime shows. So I think this, honestly, is beginning to be the downfall of the genre for me. I'm just ending up guessing them most of the way through, or even, part of the way through, and I'm just like, oh, like, I'm gonna try a couple more, because I really did enjoy the genre when I was younger, but I'm getting to the point where I'm wondering if it's just not a genre I can handle anymore. Alright, we'll get into my 4-star reads next. I have first up 7% of Roe Devereaux. I hope I'm pronouncing that last name right. This is by Ellen Clover. I have a signed copy that I bought in Denver at the Tattered Cover bookstore when it was still independent. I enjoyed it for the most part. It's about a senior in high school who does an app based around the MASH game people played as kids. So she kind of does that with statistics and psychology evidence and everything, and it gets out of hand because a company picks it up and they're like, oh, we really want to work with you to make this a thing, etc., etc. So it's an interesting concept. It's just overall the main character felt very whiny at times. To the point where it was just kind of killing the vibe for me. I think I just wasn't connecting to her because I just was even in high school, I didn't feel the way she does about a lot of the things that happen. So I was just kind of But overall, pretty good. I would recommend. And then, of course, I have this one. It's called Not Undone. This gave me Speak vibes. I don't know how many people have read that, but it's one of my favorite books. I reread it every year, basically, if I can. It's a pretty good story. Sometimes I just felt like I couldn't connect to the character. I think that was my biggest issue with it. I did get this as a personalized copy, of course. I bought it at a book fair that we had that was local, where all the authors were there for the most part. So she was pretty sweet. I enjoyed it. I would recommend it to anyone. It's kind of definitely opens up with the whole mental health thing and gives you an interesting perspective on how you should be handling things. Okay, my next 4-star reads are Catching Fire, Mockingjay, and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Of course, we'll just go down the line. Catching Fire, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars because it had a very slow beginning to me, and I really just wanted to get to the action portion of it. This is my first time reading the Hunger Games series. I've read the first one last year, and I'm just now getting around to reading the rest of the series. But overall, I am enjoying it. It's definitely something that I feel like I probably should have gotten to sooner, considering this is dystopian, and that's literally my favorite genre. But, I probably was still in the mindset of, hey, this is overrated, I don't want anything to do with it. But, I really did get attached to some of the characters in this book, and I did really love the arena concept. I think that is probably the reason why this is my favorite book of the series. With Mockingjay, a lot of it felt like filler, but it wasn't unnecessary filler, I definitely was pissed about some of the deaths in this book. I feel a little wishy-washy about the ending I got, but I'm not overall upset about it. Now, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was good overall. I just felt like instead of 500 pages, this should have been a 300-page book, and I get why it wasn't. I overall hated that I was empathizing with President Snow, but I was really pissed about the ending of this book, and I was almost considering giving it 3 stars because it pissed me off so much. However, I understand why the ending of the book happened the way it did, so I can't really be that mad about it. I respect it. I will be reading the next book when it comes out in March, I believe it is, so look forward to that review. Okay, getting into the 5-star reads, I had first up Lunar New Year Love Story. This is a YA graphic novel. It's about 300 pages, so it's a pretty thick one. I enjoyed it overall. I thought it had a very interesting concept. It definitely had, a thing about like discovering yourself and reconnecting with people and just kind of sorting out your own things you got going on before you be like, hey, like this is something I want, Definitely think it was a cute story overall. And then I have the first book in the Match trilogy. I read this series in middle school, so this was technically a reread. I didn't remember a good chunk of it, but there was some of it that I did remember. I am super obsessed. I love the nostalgia that it gave me. I was so obsessed in middle school that I was just like, oh my god, I love her so much. I was listening to the audiobook a little bit for when I was cleaning, and I did find out that I've never been saying the main character's name right if the audiobook is saying it correctly, but I can move past that. I can forgive her for her sins. Yes, and then last but not least, I had Snow Globe. This was my favorite read of the year until one of them that I read this past week. But I won't say what that one is yet. However, as of, end of June, this was my favorite read. I love this. It's got a gorgeous inside cover, and the outside cover, just as beautiful. I was so obsessed. It is a dystopian. It is about people, it's about this main character who lives outside of the snow globe, which, they live in below freezing temperatures, and they work in warehouses to keep power on in the snow globe. But then she gets an opportunity to go inside a snow globe. So it's pretty good overall. I highly recommend. I don't want to wait until spring 2025 for the sequel to come out. I told myself, I was like, oh, I probably won't like it that much. But it's consuming my thoughts. I'll be so honest with you. I hear that it might be getting a K-drama adaptation, which I don't know about you guys, but I watch K-dramas all the time. They are a comfort thing for me, so I can't wait for that. So that is all of the physical books that I read for April, May, June. So we will post a non-physical wrap-up here soon. I'm not 100% sure when that will be. Probably within the next week. But I don't like making promises. So I hope to hear some of what you guys read for the last couple months, or if you found your favorite book of the year so far. If you have any recommendations, because I'm going through books like they're water and I need them to live right now. So I'll chat at y'all later. Bye.